Live from the studios at the University of Kansas, you are watching KUJH-TV News.
A Topeka zookeeper is in the hospital after a tiger attacked her and some zoogoers saw the whole thing.
And the search is over for a new Lawrence City manager. We'll tell you who came out on top.
Plus, it's the season of itchy eyes and sniffy noses, and the demand for medication is at a record rate. We'll see how pharmacists handle this busy time of the year.
Welcome to KUJH News. I'm Malik Jackson.
And I'm Harold Johnson. It came down to these two people. One would become the new Lawrence City manager, replacing the retiring Tom Marcus.
The City Commission just made its announcement. Let's go live to City Hall, where our Coleman Connolly just attended the meeting. Coleman, which one did they choose?
Malik, Craig Owens will now be responsible for administering policies and programs for the commission. He will be now known as the new city manager of Lawrence. Craig Owens has been the city manager of Clayton, Missouri since 2008. Owens is originally from Overland Park, and he received his master's degree in public administration at the University of Kansas. Owens said by Skype he's looking forward to returning to the city where he started his graduate work, and he knows the commission had a tough decision to make.
I'm very honored that you selected me. I know what an important position this is. It has been historically, but also the competition that I know I have as well to get to this point. So it is a great honor, and I'm deeply appreciative.
Owens must officially move to Lawrence within 6 months, and he will officially begin as the city manager on July 1st. Live from Lawrence City Hall, Coleman Connolly, KUJH News.
Julie, I'm a little bit upset today because I thought it was going to rain, so I brought my umbrella out, but there was no rain in sight. What happened?
There was no rain because most of the rain was south of us, but don't worry, I would keep that handy because we do have some rain coming tomorrow.
Well, all right.
We have a warm-up headed this weekend into this week. We're going to have temperatures up into the 70s and 80s this week, so it's going to be a much warmer week. But we do have some rain coming tomorrow. It's going to be around the afternoon into the evening, so Harold will be able to use his umbrella tomorrow. And then we do have a chance of thunderstorms coming up on the beginning of your work week next week. It's 76 degrees right now, but we do have a few clouds out there, and those clouds are going to continue as we move through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours. There is a bit of a wind out there at around 12 miles an hour. Here's a look at our clouds. As you can see in the Kansas area, the clouds are pretty thick moving through. We do see sunshine a little bit peeking through, but those clouds are going to continue as we move into the overnight hours. I'll have your full forecast coming up in just a bit.
A Topeka zookeeper is out of intensive care. She somehow ended up in the tiger pen where one of the big cats attacked. The city hasn't released her name, but say that she somehow ended up in the open pen and Sanjeev, the Samaritan tiger, pounced. The zoo says workers are never supposed to be in the same enclosures as the wild animals, and they're investigating how this happened. Most of the workers' injuries are to her arm. The zoo says they have no plans to euthanize the tiger.
Presidential candidate Senator Elizabeth Warren has unveiled a higher education proposal that focuses on eliminating student debt and making college tuition free. Outstanding debt goes away if a student's income is less than $100,000 yearly in her plan. Warren says her proposal also aims to add $100 billion for Pell Grants over 10 years and create a $50 billion fund for historically black colleges. She says it's all about broadening availability to all.
There's a real access problem for low-income students, for students of color, and that is, it's not just paying the tuition, it's how they pay for books, it's how they pay for the expenses of having a baby taken care of if they already have a child at home, or being able to cover commuting expenses.
She says her plan goes further than Bernie Sanders' free college proposal.
It's already been a long year for those who dread the coming of spring. An allergy medication is heading out of the doors at record rates. KUJH reporter Dante Green outlines why pharmacy stores are so busy at this time of year.
It's the season of runny noses, puffy eyes, and long sneezes, and Watkins Pharmacy and drugstores across Florence are experiencing a decrease in their medicine supply. The allergic are feeling the effects of the air too.
I mean, allergy season, I've been feeling it more than usual this year than in past years. I've been feeling the pollen more, and it's kind of unusual for me.
Watkins is seeing the amount of medicine they're selling double from the previous season. Allergists say airborne pathogens such as pollen, dandruff, dust mite, and mold can all cause a release of histamines which trigger allergy symptoms. Watkins officials say they have to make one important change during this time.
We increase our par levels of inventory depending on the season sometimes because we'd like to have, we know we're going through more products more rapidly than we usually do.
This door right here directly leads to Watkins Pharmacy, which has seen an increase in terms of the number of students getting their allergy medication. The door allows students to have quick access right to their medicine so that they don't have to wait in long lines or go around the entire building.
Watkins expects that even more students will be running to their doors as spring continues. In Lawrence, Dante Green, KUJH News.
Watkins is open Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. and students can call in to fulfill orders with the pharmacy.
The Lawrence community had its chance to appreciate the earth a little more than usual this weekend. Girl Scouts, vegans, and other environmental activists marched in a parade to promote their organizations and support the earth. The KU Environs group organized and hosted the parade to excite people about Earth Day. Earth Day is all about protecting the environment, and KU Environs views the parade as an initiative to get people involved in other events that help the planet.
So it's not just like any day you go out, oh, tomorrow I'm going to start planting trees or keeping bees or doing something environmental, not using plastic anymore. Earth Day is this big, huge opportunity where everybody's doing it, so you kind of feel the social pressure, which is a really good thing.
Kogan White says you should remember you can make a difference by recycling, conserving water, and using public transportation.
As I was reading through my social media today, someone says every day should be Earth Day because taking care of the earth should be so important to all of us. So we really put a spotlight and a focus on it today, but I like that every day should be Earth Day.
I totally agree. I always try to recycle and, put things in the right receptacle sometimes.
Yeah, we try. That's all we can do, right? So still to come on KUJH News, Easter Sunday took a violent turn for churches in Sri Lanka. More detail about how this terror attack could have been prevented.
And does the federal job protection include sexual orientation and gender identity? We'll tell you more about how the Supreme Court will decide. Stay with us.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Jessica, we need to leave right now. I need to get something. Dance recitals are so boring.
There's a meaning no one knows. Waiting to be set
So
free.
what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
Duh.
Confidence. Pass it on.
I was born to be somebody.
One of the holiest Christian days of the year brought violence and murder to churches in Sri Lanka. As John Lawrence tells us, nearly 300 are dead in what appear to be coordinated bombings.
Terror in Sri Lanka with coordinated bombings in churches and high-end hotels.
I strongly condemn these attacks that targeted religious sites and luxury hotels. All of us must uphold the law of the land.
The minority Christian community in Sri Lanka appears to be the main target of the attacks.
I entrust to the Lord all who so tragically died, and I pray for the wounded and all those who suffer because of this traumatic event.
Prior to the Easter Sunday violence, a warning was issued. A memo dated April 11th, signed by Sri Lanka's Deputy Inspector General of Police, warning intelligence officers about a possible attack.
It's a regrettably not unfamiliar story in the aftermath of terrorist incidents where there has been pieces of information and pieces of intelligence that haven't necessarily been stitched together the way that they needed to be.
A police source tells CNN the memo included a request for more security.
I'm confident there will be a substantial investigation into what's happened there and what's gone wrong.
This attack ends a decade of relative peace for the country after its 25-year civil war ended in 2009. President Trump offering condolences in a tweet saying, "We stand ready to help." I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Of more than 200 dead, at least 24 were foreigners. They include 5 Britons, 2 of whom had dual citizenship with the UK and the US.
Social media sites enter their second day under lockdown in Sri Lanka as a repercussion of the bombings. KUJH reporter Erica Schulman is live in the newsroom. Erica, why block people from sharing information via the internet?
Social media creates a sense of urgency around getting information. That need for quick access opens up opportunities to publish information without proper verification. Banning social media content allows the Sri Lankan government to censor rumors and fake news. Microblogging sites like Twitter and Facebook give anyone with internet access a platform to publish. Authoritarian governments like Sri Lanka can control the content because they don't promote freedom of speech. KU Journalism Director of News and Media, Lisa McClendon, says blocking social media sites gives the government an ounce of control during an uncontrollable situation.
And they could shut it down. And so they thought, okay, this is one way that we can prevent copycats, we can prevent people from disseminating misinformation, just incorrect stuff.
Many media outlets in the U.S. lack correspondents in Sri Lanka and relatively close locations.
They're relying on other media sources and eyewitnesses. And a lot of times eyewitness testimony or eyewitness, just accounts come via social media now.
This marks the second blocking of media outlets in the last 2 years for Sri Lanka. The first fell in March of 2018 during a 10-day state of emergency. This precautionary ban might become a standard procedure following a major tragedy for some countries as fake news continues to flourish.
I think that for governments who can do this, I would expect to see it a lot more because they're like, ooh, we can just shut this whole thing down.
Head of Global Voices, an internet and journalism advocacy group, Ivan Siegel, put the blame on the media outlets. He took to Twitter multiple times. He highlights the idea that once social media was a tool to connect people, now it's acting as the enemy. Live in the newsroom, Erica Schumann, KUJH News.
And now let's take a look at news from across the nation. President Donald Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, spent Sunday touring the network talk shows. He says he would have advised against receiving information from the Russians, but sees
There's
no
nothing
problem.
wrong with taking information from Russians.
There's nothing wrong with taking
information. It depends on where it came from. It depends on where it came from. You're assuming that the giving of information is a campaign contribution. You read the report carefully. The report says we can't conclude that because the law is pretty much against that.
The Supreme Court will decide if a federal law that bans sex discrimination in the workplace protects gay and transgender employees. Justices say they will hear 3 cases. One involves a funeral director whose boss fired her after she told him she was transitioning. The Trump administration does not agree that the law currently includes gay and transgender protections. And some children were spending this morning rolling eggs across the south lawn of the White House. The President and First Lady watched children and families hunting and decorating Easter eggs. More than 30,000 people went to the White House Easter egg roll. It's one of the oldest White House traditions. Children left at the end of the day with a commemorative egg featuring President Trump's signature. And that is your look at news from across the nation.
Well, I'm definitely one of those people that likes to decorate the eggs, but I'm certainly not going to eat them. Did you eat the Easter eggs at all?
It depends on what it was, but I did love to hunt them.
Well, I know one thing people won't love, this rain that you said that we're going to get.
Yes, we're going to get a little rain, but it's going to be light and no severe thunderstorms are going to be with it. I'll have your full forecast coming up next. Stay with us.
I totally forgot my iPad.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour, and another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I want some more.
What's he doing?
Please, sir, I want some more.
More? He has asked for more!
Thank you.
Well, he did say please.
Yes, he did. And thank you.
Please, and thank you. Pass it on.
Thank you.
We had a beautiful warm weekend, and those warm temperatures are going to continue into this week, and we're even going to get back up into the 80s by the end of this week. It's 76 degrees right now, and it feels a little cooler than that because we do have a northwest wind at 12 miles an hour, so it is pretty windy out there. We do have a bit of a cloud cover right now as it is mostly cloudy. Those clouds will continue through the rest of the evening into tomorrow. It kind of looked like it was going to rain today, and that's because of all that cloud cover, but we do have some rain on the way, so don't worry. Temperatures will be falling as we move into the overnight hours, but that wind is going to stay a bit windy tonight as we'll only end at about 11 miles an hour, which is pretty windy for the evening, but those clouds will continue into the overnight hours. We'll hit our low at 49 degrees as those clouds continue. We're pretty warm for this time of year. On average, we're at 67, and we're gonna hit our high of 76 today, so we're almost 10 degrees over, but we're hanging out right around where the low is, 45, and we'll hit a low at 49 tonight. I'm just thankful that we're not anywhere near those two extremes at the bottom. Tomorrow, we may see a little bit of rain in the area. We'll hit a high of 65 degrees, so not as warm as today, but those warm temperatures will be coming. Mostly cloudy with the chance of showers in the afternoon. Probably going to start around 11 or 12. They're not going to be very heavy showers, pretty scattered, and we're only looking at about a 50% chance. We will have a northeasterly wind at 10 miles an hour, so it still will be pretty windy. Here's a look at the time you can expect the rain to come. Around 11 and 12 o'clock is when it's going to enter into Kansas. We're probably going to see it move out of here around 4 o'clock. You might see a few showers in the evening hour as that rain moves out of the area, but it probably won't be
be a lot and won't be very widespread. We're only looking at about a 20% chance of seeing any rain in the evening hours. You'll hit your low at 47 degrees, and those clouds will continue as that rain moves out of the area. Here's a look at the weather pattern for tonight. If it looked like it was going to rain tonight, that's because we had all that rain south of us. So it kind of looked as we had some gray clouds out there. Tomorrow at 7 a.m. the rain moves into our area, so probably around 11 a.m. you're going to start to see some of that rain. And by 7 p.m. tomorrow, most of the rain will have moved south and to the east of us, so we won't really see any more of that rain. And by Wednesday, we will be clear with all of that rain moved out of the area. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We do have a warm week coming up ahead of us, but we do have some clouds that are going to move into the area, as we'll have a cloudy Wednesday and a few clouds on Thursday, but we will be warming up to 82 degrees on Saturday, and Sunday will be 78 degrees, and then you'll start your Monday a little bit rainy. Back to you.
Jose, I'm looking through my iPad, looking at the sports news for this week before I came to talk to you today. And it looks like this week was a big week for KU.
Definitely a big week for KU. There was a lot of things to do in Lawrence, but Rock Chalk was the place to be this weekend. There were so many events going on. First of all, with the tennis team, man, they did awesome. They went out there and competed against two opponents, Texas and Oklahoma State. And then over there with the track, you know, all those track and field enthusiasts, they rated the 92nd annual Kansas Relays. KU won 15 events throughout the week, and former long distance champ Sharon Lokiti raced in the 1500 meter. I'll tell you about her aspirations to compete professionally after the break.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them? You don't know my name.
KU basketball announced the decision via Twitter 2 hours ago that Udoka Azubuike is coming back for his senior year. Last night was the deadline to declare for the NBA draft, and Azubuike did not make the announcement of his return until 2 hours ago. The starting center was injured for most of his junior season. That kept him from participating at full strength in the NBA Combine. As a sophomore, he averaged 13 points and 7 rebounds per game. The return of Azubuike means Coach Self has 6 scholarships available for 2019. Now, the Jayhawks are awaiting a decision on the appeal of Silvio De Sousa. If the appeal is accepted, he will be eligible for next season. For the first time in program history, the Kansas tennis team can say they are Big 12 champions. Coming into the tournament, KU had lost 3 matches to Texas and Oklahoma State. The Hawks got off to a fast start in the semis against the Cowgirls, with wins from courts 2 and 3. This marked the 10th straight doubles win for the Hawks. In singles action, KU dropped 2 points to the Cowgirls, but bounced back with wins from Nina Hamalskaya and Anastasia Rychagova. And for the first time this year, Kansas beat Oklahoma State 4-2, courtesy of a final point from junior Maria Toran Ribes. And on the final day, the Jayhawks were matched up with the top-seeded Texas Longhorns, who went undefeated in conference play this season. Once again, the team dominated at doubles with wins from the duos of Toran Ribes and Malkia Ngunuwe and Richagova and Sonia Smagina. Yannette Koch and Sonia Smagina dropped their singles matches, but that would be the only points the Longhorns would get in this championship. Seniors Richagova and Hamelnitskaya carried the team with 2-set victories, and Toran Ribes won in 3 sets over Katie Peluda. It was Toran Ribes' second straight match clinching victory for KU, and she was named the most outstanding player of the tournament. The Jayhawks clinched an automatic berth to the NCAA tournament with the Big 12 championship. The selection show is set for 1 week from today. KU track and field put up huge numbers with 15 first-place finishes this weekend at the Kansas Relays, and it was freshman Cordell Tinch who shined with 2 first-place finishes. Tinch struggled early in the high jump, but eventually cleared the bar an inch shy of 7 feet. In the 110-meter hurdles, he ran a smooth race, clearing all of the hurdles in his path and finishing in under 14 seconds. In the long jump, he finished in 5th place. Junior Bryce Hoppel won the 800 and 1500-meter races, which extends his win streak to 12 straight individual races. He also helped KU take second in the 4x400 meter. Zach Bradford set the school record at the pole vault at 18 feet 11 inches. Gleb Dudarev won the hammer throw with a 237-foot mark, and Nicole Montgomery, she closed out her final race at Rock Chalk Park with first place in the 800 meters. Although Sharon Lukidi exhausted her collegiate eligibility, she was at the relays to compete in the 1500-meter race. Just as expected, though, she powered through the competition and ran it in 4 minutes and 24 seconds in her first race as an alumna. The relays are always a joy to watch, and I'm so glad that the sun was shining and there was no rain. What's next, Malik?
Thanks, Jose, for that. Good to hear about our tennis team. Congratulations to them bringing trophies back to Lawrence, and Stokes back. He's not done. We're so happy about that. Still to come on KUJH News, Budweiser brought some big 4-legged friends to downtown Lawrence to celebrate the new Kansas liquor law. Stay with us to find out.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. Let me go home. It'll all be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.
If you noticed a larger than normal crowd gathered downtown Saturday, you weren't imagining things. People from all over Lawrence came to see the Budweiser Clydesdale horses. The parade included the Budweiser wagon, the famed Dalmatian at the top of it, and the Bud Light Knight at its rear. The horses stopped at local bars and liquor stores, delivering cases of beer before unhitching back on Massachusetts Street. Budweiser says they're in town to celebrate Kansas's new beer laws.
It's just a way for Budweiser to thank our local retailers for supporting our business and helping Lawrence grow.
This was their last stop in Kansas. The horses had already been to Overland Park and Topeka.
Did you guys get a chance to see them? I did. They were beautiful.
No, I didn't get a chance to see them. I was in Kansas City this weekend.
Too busy with the relays.
I know.
Makes sense.
Well, that's KUJH News for Monday, April 22nd.
To view our stories again or to share them with your friends, visit our website at tv.ku.edu.
And check us out next newscast Wednesday at 4 p.m. for the latest news, weather, and sports.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.